I knew nothing about this before I stepped into this room, and I've been asking people what it is. I think I've got a good idea, now that Pikachu might be around me this very moment, but I don't have the app, and I'm not sure I intend to in the near future, unless you all feel that I should be catching them all.
So you're going to be the only character that gets to interact with Vera. You get to hug her all to yourself.
I thought you were going to say you'll be the only one left. It's just you. We've just spoken to Carson and Carrie.
So how's that feel to be the person who carries that story forward? It's just going to be you and Norma, and nobody else is going to know Norma anymore.
I know, I wonder how that'll work. I mean, in many ways, this whole turn of events will probably mean that I get to have, many more scenes with Vera than I've had in the past, and that's obviously just, a brilliant opportunity, and I love her, I love working with her, so I can't wait.
And we're going to see you further descend into madness this coming season. Are you looking forward to playing that?
I certainly think he'll be descending into madness. I mean, given the fact that Vera is going to be such a huge part of the show, and Norman, or we know that she's dead and Norman thinks otherwise, the sort of entire conceit of the last season is based around that subjective reality of Norman's as opposed to anything objective. So certainly he'll be going a little madder as time goes by.
When you first got the role of Norman, did you, obviously I'm sure you have seen the movie and stuff, but were you excited to be able to kind of build the character yourself and kind of determine how the character is? Because I mean, in the movie you don't really get his backstory at all. No,
exactly, and I think by bringing it into the contemporary setting that the writers did way back when, and this season, deciding to intersect the Bates Motel storyline with that of Psycho, but not necessarily retelling it scene by scene or exactly how things happened in the past. That's left us free to be able to come up with our own version of the characters that doesn't need to be necessarily tied to what came before. And I think I've tried to come up with a kind of happy medium where certainly there's inspiration and things that are taken from Anthony Perkins' performance, but it's never felt like I have to mimic everything that he did.
So were you inspired by one of the movies more than the other, or?
Only the first one is what I sort of rewatch and watch before every season. So it's certainly Hitchcock's classic that has inspired everyone as opposed to what came after that.
How has your relationship with your fans been throughout this journey through the show? And we've seen you grow up.
Yes.
And how has it been from that side, seeing how your fans are reacting towards your performances?
Everyone seems to have, I guess almost by the way that it works, if you get to a fourth season on a show and you still have fans who are liking it, they're very much people who are invested in the show, as opposed to someone who's come to it at the beginning and then somewhat faded away. No, it's nice. That's why it's lovely to come to Comic-Con and the panel earlier and give that certain amount of interaction. And I don't have Twitter or Instagram or Pokemon Go, and so I don't have that day-to-day level of interaction. So it's nice to have that at Comic-Con.
Have you been doing further research into mental illness to prepare for this next season, even, or is it basically what you
I think this next season's just so wacky and different that I'm not sure what it would exactly be to base anything on. I mean, this last season certainly there was, more research heavy in the scenes with Dr. Edwards and the more scientific approach, if you like, in terms of looking at Norman's psychology. That all lent itself to that research, but now he's kind of just, you sort of just have to live in his reality and what he thinks to be true and avoid any moments, or that's what I hope to do, of wink to the audience, but actually she's not around. I think the whole premise works if you're entirely committed, and Norman is entirely sort of committed to that reality, to what he believes.
One of the first questions or themes of the first season was, is Norman Bates' evilness nurture of nature? Mm-hmm. So what do you think about now, 4 seasons after?
This is your last question.
Sure. I think it's still the mix. I don't think you can put what this season I believe has shown is that it's not Norman's fault, it's not Norma's fault, it's not Romero's fault. None of them are really to blame. I mean, I don't think that Norman, he certainly didn't try to manipulate the outcome that ended up happening. You know, he tried to take them both with them, and it was, I believe, a very much, you know, this act of love of sending them both off to a better place, if you will, in his sort of deluded way. But so I guess that in itself is it's a sort of, it's an act of, it's both. It's that ultimate mixture, don't you think? I mean, I'm not sure you can blame anyone or say that people couldn't have done things to change the course of events.
Thank you.
Cheers.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gracias.
No, para nada.